This video is the continuation of my first video, the preface to lyrical ballads. In that video, I have already explained about the introduction, first, second, and third points. Okay, so today we will start from point number 4. What Wordsworth is saying in this point is, a poetry is something that is spontaneous. Okay, a poetry is something that is spontaneous, natural, something that happens on its own. Wordsworth says that to achieve this spontaneous flow, what do you need? You need to have an organic sensitivity or talent. You need to have talent to write poems. You need to have a talent to express yourself. One should be able to think long and deeply and with those thoughts should modify feelings. Those thoughts would show your feelings, what you are feeling. Okay, thoughts themselves should represent past feelings. Poems cannot be written for shallow entertainment. One should be serious with what profound subject or emotions should be carried out in a poem. While writing in the poem, one should maintain all the strategies, all the things that are used in poems, and the one basic thing is your mental stability, your calmness, okay, your surroundings. Okay, poems should not be written only for shallow entertainment. Thoughts represent feelings. Plot becomes more important if one expresses his right feelings. Okay, thoughts represents feelings. Expression of feeling is more important than action and plot. Wordsworth says that when a poet writes, he connects his thoughts with his feelings. Being in a tranquil state of mind is important while writing a poem. The plot becomes important. Wordsworth says that the plot becomes important if one expresses his right feelings. Feelings rightfully implied give importance to action and situation of the plot. If you rightfully imply your feelings in the poem. To make a successful poem, poetic actions or heroic things are not needed, but a right feeling is required. So, Wordsworth is saying to express your feelings rightfully in a poem. Next, Wordsworth talks about relation between feelings and emotions. He takes this relation between feelings and emotions as the subject of a poem. Wordsworth believes that human mind is capable of excitement, and for this excitement, there is not needed to apply gross or any butter if you are applying butter. Okay, so if you are expressing your feelings in the poem properly, for this excitement there is no need to apply any gross. It is the job of a poet to enhance the ability of people. Wordsworth says that poets should enlarge their ability to make corrections by reading poetry. As you all say that human mind has an ability to bounce back or revive. Means they can revive the past. Okay. So mind does not need gross or violence for entertainment. Nature also has the healing power to scope for revival. Wordsworth is a supreme worshipper of nature. As we see, Wordsworth loves nature. So he convinced nature as a living personality and a source of joy. Wordsworth wanted the readers to use sensibility to understand the true meaning of poem. He has written many poems related to nature, such as Daffodils, The Solitary Reaper, Lines Written a Few Miles Above Tintern Abbey. These are some examples of Wordsworth poem related to nature, in which he has described nature. Okay. Let's move on to 6th stanza. 6th paragraph, where Wordsworth is talking about poetic diction. Wordsworth says that he avoids poetic diction. He thinks overuse of certain phrases can make the poem vulgar. He uses personification less. He uses less personification in a poem and avoids linguistic styles used in poems. What does Wordsworth say? He says that poets commonly use certain technical phrases, and figures of speech. In this way, the language loses its beauty, and becomes vulgar. If you use figures of speech or high level of language, so Wordsworth thinks that in this way, the poem loses its beauty and becomes vulgar. He avoids weight addition to his poems because he feels that certain phrases and figures of speech are commonly used by poets. Okay, therefore he uses common language to make it realistic and relatable. Therefore, Wordsworth avoids poetic diction, any kind of weightage to the poem, so that the poem looks good. He uses common language. Ordinary language is the best suited for poetry. It is the 7th point I am discussing on. Ordinary language is best suited for poetry. Wordsworth proves it. To prove or to explain these lines, what does Wordsworth do? He uses Thomas Gray's poem On the Death of Richard West as an example. Wordsworth says that the thought and idea of Thomas Gray's poem are very powerful yet simple. He tries to show us the difference between the language of good poetry and a good prose. Prose, you understand, no? Prose means short stories. So Wordsworth here trying to tell us the difference between the language of good poetry and good prose. There are meters used in poems. In a good poem, there are meters used such as iambic pentameter, tetrameter, trimeter, which makes a poem appealing and increases the value of poem, which gives weight to a poem. But poems which do not follow these strict laws of matter, and those who do not completely differ from prose, that is, have elements of prose in them, and the poems that has elements of prose in them, those poems are called crossings. Okay, crossings, and those poems are criticized. Understood? What happens if we use an ordinary language? It's the whole total thinking of Wordsworth, that if you use an ordinary language, a poem which doesn't carry any elements of these things, meters, to look the poem stylish and approval. So those poems which have same elements such as in prose, those poems are called crossings. Okay, and those poems are criticized according to Wordsworth, and those poems are criticized. The whole preface to lyrical ballads is a view of total view of Wordsworth, and he has written it as what he has written in the poem. Okay, what he has used in his poem, like he has used ordinary language in his poem, because he is justifying or proving his point about ordinary language is best suited for poetry. Okay, now let's move on to next, where Wordsworth says that there is no essential difference between the language of poetry and prose. He wants to prove this, that there is no essential difference between language of poetry and prose. So for that, what does he say? Wordsworth feels that poetry and prose are almost identical and close. He personifies poetry as an abstract idea, which is a little bit ironic. Wordsworth, by using these kinds of personifications, Wordsworth says that he is capable of writing lofty language. Lofty language means high level language with those use of meter, rhyme, schemes. Okay, high level language, but he doesn't do so. It's not that Wordsworth cannot write it, but he doesn't do so. He writes in common language out of joy, not out of necessity for writing a poem. Yes, I have to write. It's not like that. Okay, Wordsworth writes it out of joy. Poetry is not liquid by human blood or by prose. Wordsworth says this line, that poetry is not liquid by human blood, but by prose. Okay. Poetry does not, some of the certain characteristics of poetry that Wordsworth writes are, there are up to I think 4 characteristics which Wordsworth gives, that are: poetry does not mean self-indulgence, only about self. Poetry is not like that. You should know as a poet that your poems have been read by others, therefore it should be in a presentable manner. It's not like only you will be reading. You are writing this poem for everyone. If you are a poet, you are writing this poem for everyone. So here Wordsworth is trying to say that, so this poem of yours will be read by all the audience, so it should be in a presentable manner. Poet should be sensitive. Okay, Wordsworth's next point is poet should be sensitive. Means he has to take care of every little thing. Poet has to express his feelings very clearly. A poet should have extraordinary strong imaginative power. Obviously, a poet should have a strong imaginative power than ordinary people. We can take it with the example from a story by B. Wordsworth, written by V.S. Naipaul. In that, there was a man named as B. Wordsworth. he had a strong imaginative power. He used to watch the bees, ants. See, the poet wants to say that the imaginative power should be greater than an ordinary human being. Okay, and the fourth point is a poet, या फिर one who is writing something, should have ability to express what he feels in a proper way. For what he is writing, the poet, if I am writing a poetry, I should be able to express my audience what I am feeling and in a proper way. Okay, let's keep it till point 8. In my next part 3, I'll explain the rest of the points. Okay.